nailed it.
I'd like to call this meeting for the Council of the Village of Greenhills, June 4th, 2013, to order. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Adams.
Here.
Reeves.
Here.
Halter.
Here.
Hermes.
Here.
Walther. Here. Walterman.
Here.
Merle.
Here. All right. We're all here tonight. This time we have an opportunity to approve the minutes of the May 7th regular council meeting and the May 21st work session and special meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the pile of meeting minutes from last month. If there are no objections, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions. At this point of the meeting, we have an opportunity for residents to address council. When recognized, please come forward, state your name, address, and your comments. 3 minutes.
Hi, my name's Diana Kohler. I live at 53 Ilona, and I'm a resident here in Greenhills. And I wanted to take an opportunity to thank the fire department for all the hard work they do. I was just watching some videos on YouTube of some of their trainings, and amazing what they go through for volunteering in our village. The work that they put in and being called out at all hours of the night, really appreciate their work. I'd also like to see if the village would be interested in making the first step in the new zoning that we have, Chapter 18 for the Historic District Overlay. We have a wonderful home outside here, the Marquette Dwelling Home, and it'd be great if the village would make the first initial proposal and get that home designated as part of our historic overlay so that the residents can see the process and see the dedication that the village has towards our historical homes. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diane. I think it's a good idea. We'll have to kick Chapter 18 into gear.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none. Reports, village officials, municipal manager. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a number of items I want to mention tonight. First, I apologize, I didn't have time to gather up all the public record requests that I will hold for next month. A couple things I do want to mention. Our skate park, we've had some vandalism, unfortunately, I think twice within a week. And I just want to let you know it seems to be kind of an ongoing issue that we're having there. The service department will again be trying to get the graffiti off. But I just thought it was time. It's happening often enough that I thought you better be aware that that was occurring. So
is it on the concrete, on the benches?
all of it.
All of it, just
In
spray
fact,
painting?
today we took all the benches away and the trash can away. There's not much left of the benches, sadly. And the garbage can, I think the lid was missing, but the bottom is, one of the big heavy kind of stone. So while there was still something left of that, that's all been removed now. So we'll see what that does. If anything.
Wasn't just graffiti on the benches, there were concrete broken, slats missing, and they were destroyed. They're not reusable. It wasn't graffiti. They were just destroyed.
I don't suspect it was the skaters so much. They understand that good behavior equals no problems up there. We do have other people come down and just ask the police department to keep an eye over there, see if they can get a handle, and I'll make some inquiries into the skating community to see if we can figure out who's doing this.
You're gonna go down with your board?
No, I've got operatives.
Yes. Okay, 'cause I was there just a couple weeks ago that didn't have anything, but just had.
Yeah, but I think we just have no time.
wanted to say that the service department does a great job of getting it off as fast as they possibly
Okay,
can.
when it gets out.
So,
But now there's damage to the concrete itself, it goes forward.
no, well, there's graffiti, and whatever they're using is rather difficult to get off.
Oh, okay.
But no, we took the benches away, and besides being totally broken up, they too had graffiti on them, and that's all gone now. So, wanted to mention that. Another thing is that throughout town, we had the waterworks project that was completed last year, and if anybody's aware of any outstanding issues for the waterworks project, the 1-year period during which they'll come and make restoration, I guess, of the areas where they had caused some damage. That's rapidly approaching, I believe it's during July. So I would just want to encourage everybody to contact Waterworks really directly. The person's name is Mark Eby, and the number is 591-7870, and I can put that on the website if you think you have any outstanding items from that project. We want to be sure. We think we've caught everything, but there might be something out there we're not aware of. And in a little while, maybe during recreation, I wanted to give you an update. Mr. Harvey may be doing that, but I did want to review the costs that we have, where we stand right now for the playground project. So I'll wait. Unless you want me to do it now.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Should I? Okay. You might remember when we did the community development block grant, that the playground over by Boys was the number one priority. Sadly, CDBG did not even send money for it, but we agreed that we would fund it ourselves. So councils, the Recreation Commission, and Mr. Halter, a number of us have been working with different vendors to get the best prices on some things, and I think we're really close to doing that. Our engineer, we also had do a site plan with grading for the underground drainage, things like that, to be sure we get that in place. And we're coming close to giving a go to the Jeffrey Allen Corporation, who has a lot of experience on something like this. And then the playground equipment we are getting from a company, David Williams and Associates. They also, we bought like a drinking fountain from them, or this is the kind of thing that they do. But I wanted to make you aware of it, mostly with the new requirements on bidding that have gone up. We're able to do this without council approval, but it's a lot of money, so I want to be sure you're aware of it and know what's going on. The cost for the Jeffrey Allen portion is about $17,000 to do. It's rather large, like 60 by 100 area that they're doing under drain work. And the equipment, which is really nice looking, I think you'll be really satisfied, is about $37,000. So we're hoping to have, I think it's we have about a 28-day lead time from the time we would have paid until you can wait. Probably about 14 days to see some activity and 28 days to see the pieces of equipment there. So pretty excited. Want to let you know we've been moving very well on that. And that would be answering your questions.
Is that general fund or is that
No.
special revenue 2041?
Special revenue.
Yeah.
From recreation.
I want to mention, just from a community development standpoint, I see a lot of value. We have new excitement with the golf course and that being handled really well. We've got the pool, and now with this, what I would call a destination playground in that area, really makes it a hub for families and people to go to. We do hope that we can have not the issue with vandalism and keep an eye on all that's going on, but obviously the more it's used, the less that'll occur. But I think it's a good thing, very good thing for the community. It's hard to think of driving your kids to just a swing set or a slide, but when it's a big setup like this, I think it's a real draw. So I think it's a good thing.
Are we doing any lighting in conjunction with this? Any lighting changes? This is going to be strictly a daylight
Correct.
playground, right?
Right.
In fact, one thing that came up was a possible sign that would closes at dusk, so there's no reason for people from loitering there after that or something like that might be worth considering.
questions for the manager?
Just had a couple of remarks. On the weekend of Memorial Day, I stopped by the pool and I counted on the listing of things and more like 172 passes. And some of them were families, some of them were singles and so forth. And they were hoping addition to that because school wasn't even out yet. So I think that this is going well. What is your impression of that?
Definitely, yeah, we were pleased, and I know we've received more since then, I don't have a category, but yeah, we're real pleased.
And then also received an email from Mr. Suggs, and he said that the membership for the goal has doubled to what it was last year. And so that's also very good news. Have you had any more activity there to report? Or?
Yeah, in fact, it's an interesting thing, the machine, the swipe machine up there. I actually get a email every time it's used. So it's really interesting, and I mean, compared to last year, it's, yeah, definitely taking.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you.
All right. Moving on, Law Director, Mr. Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. Since there hasn't been any more activity in those state legislative items that we've been discussing, we don't have any report for council tonight.
Very well.
I have a couple of questions for Mr. Forbes, if I may. I had an email for the House Bill 59, and there were some amendments made on that. Whether or not it's going to affect us in any way. If I may ask you for 3 particular things. Number one was the elimination, and this has already been handed out at the Board of Elections as done. So it's an amendment that was voted on May 28th. Eliminating the requirement that a candidate or legislative campaign fund includes the address of the candidate or campaign officer in disclaimers after the words paid for by. So that has been eliminated officially now after voting. So for anybody that would be running or anything like that, that would be something to know. It also requires the Director of Administrative Services to develop standards for posting public records online so that information can be searched and downloaded. That was another one that was reported. And the last one, and I don't know if this will affect us positively, it was the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation approved on Thursday a plan that would deliver a total of $1 billion in rebates. And it would be expected to be entitled for the parties that apply up to a 56% of the premiums. I just wonder if that also affects us in any way positively in that case.
It does. I'll get that in the finance report.
Okay.
All right. Anything else for the Law Director? Clerk, it's lives.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number 201311 CD and ordinance number 201313F and the May community calendar were posted as required, and public notices were posted on the rescheduled Recreation Commission meeting of May 16th, 2013, Traffic and Safety Committee meeting of May 29th, 2013, and the Clerk of Courts Accreditation Manager position. Additionally, cancellation notice of the Traffic and Safety Committee of May 28th was also posted. There are no questions.
Thank you, Ms. Lives. Any questions for the clerk? Moving on. Police Department.
You have the monthly stats in the crime analysis report. April's Officer of the Month was Andy Moore. He's picked for his productivity and his work ethic.
And how scary he looks too.
Yeah, how scary he looks. On May 15th, Officer Johnson served a search warrant in the A section and successfully shut down a marijuana grow house.
Wow. What section was that?
A section.
All right. Good work, y'all. Good work. Any questions for the police department? Keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate it immensely. Fire department, Chief Spaeth.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Statistics for the month of May, we had 31 EMS runs,
28 of those were in the village and 3 were in the Springfield Township contract. On fire side, we had 24 fire runs, 7 in the village, and 17 mutual aid. One of the mutual aid fires that we responded to was the fatal fatality in North College Hill. We have a total of 55 runs for the month, and at year-to-date, we're at 261. Sunday, I sent out a short press release, so I know you guys are aware we had a structure fire on Chalmers Court on the early hours of Sunday morning. That investigation is complete. Looking at a $10,000 to $15,000 fire loss there, and it was ruled accidental unattended cooking. Just a couple of reminders or things that come to mind. We talk about this a lot. A working smoke alarm is paramount, and also renter's insurance, if you can afford it, is very, very inexpensive. And in this particular case, there was again no renter's insurance. So the building itself is insured by the person that owns it, so those repairs, I'm sure, will be made. However, unfortunately for the residents there, they did not have renter's insurance. So those are the reminders. And our crews did a fantastic job. Nobody got hurt. The fire went out, so that's why we like it. Brad Harden has completed his probationary membership period and was voted in as a regular member at our monthly business meeting last night, so congratulations to him. He is a village resident. On May 15th, myself, along with Division Chief Tom Hoffman, Bethany Hefner, and AJ Coley, participated in the Hamilton County MCI drill exercise that took place down at the Hamilton County Fairgrounds. The exercise went very, very well. We were there for about 3 hours. To see all of the resources that we have available on a regional basis is just something awesome. And it's a shame that people don't realize what we have at our disposal. But the entire MAT team was activated, the hospital network, and the helicopters and regional units from the surrounding counties, including northern Kentucky. And the exercise itself went very, very well. And we learned a lot, and there'll be an action plan coming very soon to where we can identify areas of where we can do a little bit better job, and then also celebrate some of the successes that we experienced during that exercise. But it was very educational. Last week, our K-9 officer, Tony Lidenmore, attended the funeral service for the slain K-9 police officer, Jason Ellis, in Bardstown, Kentucky. So we were happy to have Tony represent us there in that very unfortunate circumstance. And finally, last week, I attended the Winwood City Schools has been in the process of updating their emergency plan in light of the federal funding that's now available and the heightened awareness of school shootings and other incidents that have been occurring, unfortunately. Within school districts, you know, we have 3 of their facilities in our own village. So myself, along with fire and police officials from the city of Forest Park, we met with the school district and went over their draft plan and made some recommendations, and we'll be making a few adjustments, and then that final plan will be available very soon. So hopefully we won't ever have to put that into play, but should that happen, any sort of emergency at the school, whether it's a weather-related incident or a shooting or a fire or anything in between, we hope to be as well prepared for that as possible. That concludes my report. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions from the fire department? Mr. Walden?
Not a question, just another thank you to the fire department. My wife had to be taken to Mercy Hospital last week, and as usual, they were there right away, took good care of her. Friendly, comfortable, competent, as usual. People came to the house and got her to the hospital fine, and she's home, she's doing fine. But thank you guys again for all you do.
I also want to thank all the volunteer work. In the news today on the newspaper, they had the closing of the station number 27 in Hamilton, Ohio, and they were going to try to have a rally to try to keep it open. And it's just such a blessing to have the volunteer fire department is always there for us. And thank you so very much to all of you for that. I really appreciate it.
Moving on, mayor's report. And I forgot to bring the audited court receipt, so I guess I'm gonna have to catch up on that next month.
That's the only reason I came up here.
It was pretty good. We had a reasonably decent month. I remember that much. Ah, it's a tough life. Anyway, I had the distinct pleasure of delivering an address at the Memorial Day ceremonies last Monday. That is always an inspirational event for me, and I enjoy that very much. It's one of the parts of this job that I will miss dearly when I move on from this chair at the end of the year. Also last week, Congressman Brad Winstrup and his associate, whom I can't remember her name, Rachel from Brad Winstrup's office, dropped by to visit, and the manager and I sat down and had a chat with them. We talked a little bit about ways that the congressman may be able to assist us, perhaps with our National Historic Landmark designation, a little bit of this or a little bit of that. And I had a chance to, give him a brief history of the village, and we went and took a walk around the shopping center, and and I got to point out that we have the only all-volunteer fire department in southwestern Ohio. And he was pretty impressed by that. And I told him, you guys were volunteers only in the sense that you don't get paid. And he was just amazed. Nobody gets paid anything? I said, Congressman, nobody gets paid a dime. But it doesn't mean you're not a professional department. And we appreciate that professionalism and the volunteer spirit that you all demonstrate. And the congressman was pretty darn impressed too.
Hopefully he'll vote favorably on a few upcoming legislative issues.
Well, you let me know, and I'll be happy to drop him a note. And if no one else has any questions, that's all I've got for today.
Hey, I always want to say one thing for the last time that Fred was doing a talk there for Memorial Day services. I was there with my wife, and she just kind of looked over at me, and she says, oh my God, that was totally awesome. It was really mesmerizing, heartfelt, strong, and I just want to commend you on that. I'm going to miss that. That's really neat. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Committee reports. Let's see, we'll just take them in order. She's got them printed here. Intergovernmental Affairs, Laws and Rules, Ms. Walt.
We had a meeting scheduled for the month of June. Unless at the point where we are arriving to that, I think it's June 24th, I will consult with Mr. Walterman and Ms. Kovac whether or not we need to get together at this time. We don't have anything on the agenda for that. Is that correct, Mr. Walterman? Okay, Ms. Kovac? Okay. When we get closer to the date, we will figure out if we need to keep the date. I attended the meeting yesterday to meet the two final candidates for superintendent in Quinton Woods as my liaison for the school system, and I met there. Mr. Grease was also there. We had the final two from the second round, because this is a second full round of interviews. On Thursday, which is the first Thursday of the month, I will be attending the picnic for the Greenhills Hilltoppers, and that would be by Perky's Farm. And there was Ms. Kovac was gracious enough to put advertisement there, so if anybody needs to contact or anything, there is a contact number and name there. I will be attending the beautification meeting coming up. Mr. Halter, is that also on Thursday?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and please, everybody that is able, show up and come to the first concert at the Commons, because we're having the first one from the 75th anniversary festivities, and I'm sure you're going to add on to that. It's always a pleasure to be there, and I don't know about the weather-wise, but we'll hope for the best on that. I think it's going to be gorgeous, according to the weatherman, and I think we've got everything ready for it. Thank you very much, and that's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny because I was gonna ask you two things, and you talked about those two things right away. About the school superintendent, because I was really curious to find out what was going on with that, to the final two, and also the Hilltop Elders. And you had that information.
I'm just always on top of things.
That's good.
Okay.
You go to a lot of meetings, it's neat.
All right, moving along, Mr. Hermes, Recreation Cable TV.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met for the final time with the playground people, and it was really, it's a nice meeting, just kind of get everybody together, all the minds together. And then Bob Brewery, who's from David Williams and Associates, he's a great guy, just so professional, he's been doing this since 1987. And with Jeff had some different layouts, Jeff altered, and with some really good ideas and stuff, and then they kind of going back and forth and how to arrange it, and so they came up with a solution, how it's gonna be. So it's just neat that, there's time invested in that and knowing what's gonna be the best case scenario for the playground, because it's a big investment, but it's gonna be really sharp. And then, of course, Jeff picked out a lot of the different things that go in it as far as the colors and that kind of stuff. So I don't want to sit there and throw everything out there. It will be on the website as far as the final layout is concerned here within the week. So you'll be able to go on the website and actually take a look at it, what it's going to look like. So that it's pretty exciting. We're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. And like what Yvonne was talking about, it's going to be probably end of June, first week of July, getting it really rocking and rolling, getting it finished. So they're gonna do their best to get it done as soon as they can. Just wanna make a mention, next month, we'll be having a meeting right before the 4th of July parade and festival and community day at the pool, which is part of the dining dive. So we're gonna have it all together. It's gonna be on the 5th and 6th of July. So we'll be in the Greenhills Journal coming up, and also the Hilltop Press, and we'll be calling you on the one call now, at least a couple times, so everybody knows what's happening. That's about it for now.
All right, any questions for Recreation Cable TV?
Yeah, Mr. Hermes,
Just call me Greg, that's all right.
Mr. Hermes? What is the date for the next meeting? There was some confusion of the date, and I couldn't make, for the next meeting, what would be your date for that?
Yeah, that was my fault when I made that announcement last time.
And I couldn't make the switch, so what is the?
So basically, it's the Thursday after our work session meeting.
Okay, Thursday after the work session,
Right.
okay.
At
And,
7:30 here.
yes, thank you. And then also, I missed the meeting, so I just wonder, anybody brought up, the, walk?
I wasn't there either.
Okay.
It's a real busy time of year for me for business. I'm
Okay,
not almost
all right.
there.
I just wonder if anybody brought up the point of the walks and marking of the walks, and it's already had been measured, and I just wonder if anything has come about.
I attended, I don't think that was one of the topics. There was a lot of things talked about, but the walkway was not one of the topics. There was a lot of talk about the playground, and I think Doug had a number of things that he brought forth to go over, but just so you know, that wasn't covered.
Okay, and I have a question for you. With your experience on the recreation and so forth, the idea of the walks, marking the walks and so forth, and having some kind of a schedule.
Yes.
Do you think that that might be a good idea in view of what has happened on the commons as a deterrent, to know that there is a certain regulated amount of folks that are going to be walking a certain day at a certain time?
Ooh, I don't know if it's gonna be, doing the walks and having it marked off, I think it was a great idea. It was brought up by Vince Wesley. He really wanted to have that done, and we're gonna be really pursuing that. I think as far as time of day and everybody writing down when they're gonna be walking,
Okay, there's not going to be a set schedule for
I think
it?
there's gonna be a schedule for people who wanna be a part of a team to walk, and that's gonna
Okay.
be up to them.
Okay,
As far as if they wanna get together and say, hey, at 6 o'clock, we're gonna do our three mile walk, and we're gonna do this, this, and this.
okay,
But it's not gonna be monitoring people as far as when they're gonna be walking and when. I
okay,
think it's a little tough.
okay.
What are we talking about? The walk.
Oh, they wanted to do a mark-off walk, let's say from the, down there at Witten Woods, coming up here, just doing different
Who's
things.
doing this?
Well, the rec commission, they wanna make markings on sidewalks.
Oh, just
Kind of
chart
around
out
the
course
lake.
more or less.
Yes.
You know how far you're walking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was an event, it was like, I thought it was some sort of an event happening. Okay.
No. I mean, it's gonna be a daily event.
Perhaps,
For some
they
people.
have
Yeah.
a similar thing at the Winton Hill campus at work. They've got an area marked off, and they've got little markers that are buried in the ground that tell you how far you are from, the start of the thing, and it's, like a 1.5 mile, a little route that you can do.
There's gonna be several of them, and there'll be a plan, I'm sure, laid out that'll be on the website when this is completed, and groups of people who wanna sign up to be a part of the team, to do walking, just to get people out there and start doing something, and also conversing with people in the village, and, I think it's a great idea, so.
Yeah.
Greg, I had one thing. I really appreciate you put a lot of time in lately. I've seen you every time I come by the golf course or something. I know that the playground's taken a lot of your time. Like you mentioned, it's a busy time of the year, but really think that you're really owning some of the stuff that's happening and spending a lot of time. Thanks for doing that. The other thing too is, just so you know, to be clear for the record, that I did pick and suggest a piece of equipment on there, but Terry Trinan actually went through the catalog and found that the one big unit that we have, because we wanted we wanted to get as much bang for our buck.
Yeah.
And also, having met those guys today, it's nice to know, very professional, know their stuff, and to see all the different parties coming together and putting their ideas, like you said, on the table.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better way to do it. You can only do so many emails, but thanks for putting forth that effort.
Yeah, and Yvonne was there to calm us all down, and she was being bothered by flies and bugs.
She's
Of
worried
course,
about
us tall guys, we were fine, we didn't have any hair.
All right, anything else for recreation? Community development, Mr. Halter.
Yes, a number of things. We have the concert coming up this week is the kickoff for our concert series. The following week is Pam Noah. It's our 75th anniversary, and we're going to be introducing the 75th anniversary flag. You guys will get a sneak peek as I pass this around your way.
Sneak peek.
One thing, I'm finding out there's a lot of history with our current flag. So this is, reflected, this is focused on the 75th. I've got extra copies for everybody afterwards if you'd like to get some. And the idea is introduce the flag, and we're going to take orders. We won't have them right there for purchase, not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. We'll be able to take orders, and that'll be a kickoff. It'll be a great evening. The music will be consistent with our anniversary celebration. Along with that, I have a calendar of 75th anniversary events. I apologize that this isn't out sooner, but it's not. And here it is. We had some nebulous things. I'd like to just briefly go over this, and if you have suggestions, please let us know. We were going to do the community day at the pool on the 22nd, but it was so close to the dine and dive, it seemed to all work together. So what we are doing is there's that 75-cent charge for anyone in the community to get into the pool on July 5th. We have, like I mentioned, June 12th is the flag, introduction of the flag, and then we will go into Friday and Saturday Pioneer Days. That's going to be covered in the Greenhills Journal. As many of you know, there's the run and walk that happens in the morning. We'll have on Saturday from...
That's Saturday the 6th.
Yes, 6th. Sorry. I knew I handed this to you for a reason. And then October 19th, we're going to have a Harvest Festival. We have our December 6th Light Up Greenhills. And then we will cycle around to the second annual I Love Greenhills dinner and dance. And then we'll have a closing ceremony in April that would take us through the entire year. And one other thing I forgot to mention was, and this is another thing that we'll do primarily on an order basis. I'll get some samples in, but these are t-shirt options that will be available on Community Day at the pool, looking at that. And we won't have this many, but it'll give you an idea of what we'll be putting together. So we'll have T-shirts. There might be some other things that we've looked at that might be available at that time as well. We still have some bases and things like that that we'll probably have set up under a canopy on that Saturday. But that's pretty much my report. Any questions?
You know, I love it. Do we have any costs on the flags?
Right now, the cost is coming in, the first one is more expensive, but after that first one, it's $35 a flag. Now, I have to look at that was the first quote that I had, depends on how many we order.
Right.
So what I'll do is get a feel for how many are needed, and then, because one of the recommendations that came forth was, this is a standard flag size, but someone said that you might want to do a vertical banner type that people might hang from porches and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Which would be
we did
small.
that. We did hit those for the 60th.
Okay.
That's for the 60th. But I like the idea of a regular flag too.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And really, it's not that difficult to have both. So if you have comments and want to email me,
I mean, the expense, are these silkscreen?
No, right now, and we went back and forth about this, but right now they're digitally printed, but there's digitally printed on just that everybody has. This is a special. This is through a flag company over in Oakley. What is it? Flags USA. No, it's Flags USA. And they have a vendor that's digitally printed, but it's not standard digital. So the colors should be color fast, rich, and that we could have gone with more colors, but I just thought that, keeping with the historical piece, we're going to keep it kind of basic and straightforward.
Great. I look forward to it. Thank you for all your hard work.
Jeff, I know at the dance there were some glasses and other stuff. Are those going to be available somewhere somehow?
Yeah, we have the ability to have more of those etched. Right now, we only have tumblers left. If there's a strong feeling to have some more, it doesn't take much to get those, and it's a pretty quick turnaround.
Someone asked me about it.
Yeah. And if someone wants them, you can just contact me directly, and I have no problem even doing it order by order, or smaller batches. But I really appreciate and welcome the feedback, because all this stuff is very difficult to know what's a decent quantity to get. Right now, what's nice with the digital process and a lot of these is they're not holding us to huge quantities. But if we know that there's quite a demand for T-shirts or flags, and I have a general idea, I could solve the waiting problem and get 25 in or get 50 in, depending on what people think. So.
Just a suggestion, can we put something on the website that has the flag, here's the price, here's the T-shirt, here's the price, here's
We
the
can.
line.
Yes, we can. We wouldn't be taking money for those, but we definitely could invite people to look at it, and that's a great suggestion. We could put that in a PDF or something. All right. Thanks.
Excellent. Excellent. Moving along, traffic and safety, Mr. Walterman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We did not have a meeting. We had a meeting scheduled, but because of other issues, we had to cancel our meeting. We rescheduled that. However, as usual, I'll remind everyone to, when you go to renew your license, make sure that the paperwork you get back indicates the community you live in to be Greenhills, because it shows up Wyoming and other things from time to time. And just make sure it says Greenhills. If it doesn't, you can take the paperwork back and they will fix it. So be sure to do that. Also, I think Sergeant Ward felt sorry for me because I didn't have really a lot to talk about. So she asked me to remind everyone that the vacation checks is an option you have. We're getting into vacation season. We're already in vacation season. And it used to be available online on our website, but it's not working right now. But you can call the police department, fill out a form, make arrangements to fill out a form, come up here. And what'll happen is then there'll be a daily check of your home. Check, make sure the door's locked, make sure, do a visual walk around, make sure everything looks okay. You can let them know if there's gonna be visitors and who are authorized to go into the house to check things or pick up mail or whatever, so that if we do find somebody there, we won't shoot them or anything. But this is a nice thing to do and gives you a little more security when you're away and you know that somebody's checking your house every day. So please contact the Greenhills Police Department if you would like that to happen prior to going on vacation. That's my report.
I feel really safe when you mentioned about shooting them.
Yeah.
Sends chills up my spine.
You know, we have such a violent-ridden community.
That's right.
Any questions for traffic and safety? Hearing none.
Mr.
Service-
Darrell, I
yes,
just have
ma'am.
a couple of questions for Mr. Halter. Is that okay if I ask out of order?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
If only if I have the answers.
Okay, well, what is the price, guesstimate, whatever, for the shirts?
I've got a quote coming in, it was supposed to be in today, and they said tomorrow, so,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, also, I would like to have a flag, for the parade time. So if you're taking orders down the end, to put on my house. Also, when you get the orders, if you need someone to deliver, to help you deliver that, count on me as well.
I am? Okay.
Okay? Because if you get the address when you have the order and you get it there,
Sure. No,
I'm kind of an outgoing person. I knocked at the door and chat a little bit.
I know that.
No.
If I answer the door, I wouldn't see her.
Bring her the wallflower.
This literally shocks you, probably.
Yeah.
I have a question, Mr. Holder.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have a booth at the festival with shirts and flags and all that, tumblers?
Yes.
What, I know you're really busy if you need somebody to work that.
Oh, okay, well, no, I
I'm sure
appreciate
someone else
that. I know the
can-
mayor's wife had volunteered as well, and I am more in the camp of taking full advantage of volunteers than
Oh, yeah.
ever. So, not advantage in bad way, but put them to work. So it's-
Let me know, 10 or 15-minute period you need you there.
Okay. Well, and also, just while we're on the volunteer topic, is when it comes to community day / dine and dive at the pool, where we'll be serving hot dogs and hamburgers and that kind of thing, so I think there's something special about being served by a council person, so.
I'm
Because that's what they should be doing.
experienced. I'm experienced at that to make sure that you tap with that.
But thank you, and I apologize for not having a price on the shirts. I've been working with one vendor, and they just went through strike 3, and they haven't come through. They were supposed to have shirts for the I Love Greenhills dinner, that didn't come through. Told me it was a technical problem, had another project, they didn't come through, and they assured me it was fine, and I am sitting here without that, so we have a different vendor that I picked up today, one I've used in the past and can count on, so.
I want to say something real quick. We've always had our meetings in other places and talk about how it's great to be around guys, people like yourselves that do work and be inspired. But I really, since he's been on council, Jeff, he's inspired me because he's got such conviction. He works so hard and he's so dedicated on what he's doing. And it's like, wow, I can't believe all the stuff that he ends up doing. It's just incredible. Now, he says because that's not being real busy with work, but we talk about maybe God makes it that way so you can make the 75th a wonderful time. Because it's really, he's done a marvelous job, I feel. It's awesome. And I thank you very much for that.
And Jim, how is it going to be handled, the payment on that? Is it going to be credit card? Is it going to be, how is, if you make an order, how do we pay you?
Right now, I'll cover those details later.
Okay.
I know that I have the ability to take a credit card, and depending if we go through the office,
Okay.
we'll try to make it easy, but also I'll come up with those details next
Okay.
time.
Yep, we'll work on it, get it more covered. Streets and services, Mr. Adams.
Mr. Mayor, no report other than to mention my family and I also attended the Memorial Day parade festivities. Ayoko, your speech was great. I thought you did a wonderful job, very spoken. It was neat, got to watch my daughter march with the little Girl Scouts and everything. The flyover was
Oh, that
really.
was
That was
awesome.
really neat.
That was awesome.
2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Everybody put that together, thanks a lot, you did a great job, and it was pretty well attended, but I think it's one of those events that it'd be great to see just the streets lined up and down, and have it completely full, because it's a great event just as being part of the village, and then also just as an American.
You know, I did a quick count. I counted the band or the fire department, or at least 250 people.
Yeah,
So
it was a great day.
Not too bad.
Now,
Yeah.
was that recorded? I think.
Wade Crossings.
No, they weren't there.
Oh, they weren't there?
Okay. I thought it was really fantastic, and I know that it's already been hammered home, but, no, I just thought.
Hammer on.
I think you did such a great job. I mean, I thought that was, it's one of the best, memorial events I've ever been to, and I think it's because of what you had to say.
Thank you.
It was great.
And if it was different than that, I would have told you.
I'm sure you would.
All right. At the proper time, I do have an ordinance to present that relates to tree pruning and removal.
All right. Any questions for Service and Streets? Mr. James, Finance and Audit.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have several items. Sorry, Mr. Hunt. First, I'll respond to Mrs. Walters' question about the Bureau of Workers' Comp. They will be returning approximately $15,000 to the Village of Greenhills. That will go to the general, that'll go back into the general fund. We have some capital projects that we do not have funded this year, and that money could potentially be used for that. We can talk more at the work session, but one of the things that I'm going to suggest that we consider is the repaving of the parking lot by Malloy's, by the new playground, by the really happening golf course. It's in poor repair, and every year that we wait, it's going to be more expensive to repair it. So we can talk about that at the work session, but potentially we could use that $15,000 portion of the money to I mentioned the golf course. They are up to 28 members, but three things that the general public should know. Number one, this Friday, there's a junior league starting at 8:30 in the morning. So if your young child would like to learn how to play golf, it's kind of like getting Mario Andretti to do driver's ed. Joel Suggs is like the creme de la creme. And I wish that he would have taught me when I was a youngster, and I wouldn't have so many bad habits. But that starts this Friday, so I would encourage you to bring your youngster up, and they'll be happy to teach him. And he's a great instructor.
Are they going to do Tuesdays and Fridays like they have in past years, or just Fridays?
Just Friday.
Just Fridays.
Just Fridays.
Yeah. Yes. Secondly, he has some group lessons that he periodically does, and if you call the Caddy Shack, there's a recording there, and he talks about those, and I participated in one last week, and I've been playing golf for 40 years, and he taught me many things. So none of us are too old to learn. And then also, the golf course is available for outings. You can rent the whole joint. You know, your church group, your our block has a block party every year. We could have a community, our block could have a golf outing. There are lots of opportunities. My office is going to have some kind of group outing, and we may end up at the golf course. So there's a lot of opportunity to rent the whole place. He's very flexible. If you give him a crazy idea, he'll probably figure a way to make it work. And the golf course looks great. My wife's been out of town, so I've been up there a few times. And Joel and his son Taylor are doing a great job. So go up there and take advantage of it. We participate in an audit every 2 years, and for the years ending December 31st, 2011 and 2012, our audit has just been completed by the Auditor of State. And the audit report came back as what I would describe as a very clean audit. There were no journal entry adjustments. The audit didn't have any variances, didn't have any management recommendations. It's kind of the fiscal officer's report card, and we did very well. In fact, we've done so well, and because of the size we are eligible for the next 2 audit periods, which happen every 2 years, to have a abbreviated type audit where they don't do as an in-depth a look unless they find any irregularities. And what that means to the village is lower cost. So we were very excited to get a very positive audit. I'm going to ask the municipal manager to have the audit available on the website so people can look at it. Congratulations to the staff for doing a good job with our books. And
Kim especially.
yes,
Yeah, and we've always prided ourselves on our fiscal responsibility and making sure that we're doing everything right. This is just more evidence of the fact.
And the last item I have is our budget. And I'm just going to take a little bit of time to talk about our process, and then I will hit just a very few highlights of our budget as it stands right now. As required by law, council has received a draft copy of the budget at our May work session. It's difficult to give them a very refined budget because the county does not have all the numbers to give to us in order for us to comply. So we put in some estimates. In some spots in the budget, we leave blank until we get an estimate or a number from the county. So it's a very frustrating process for me anyway. We are still getting some of those numbers. At our next work session, you will get a revised draft. We will have a public hearing on July 2nd. And then we will have to pass something prior to, I believe it's July 16th, to get it down to the county. In a perfect world, we would have a public hearing and have a few weeks' time and another meeting to vote on the budget. But if we move the public hearing more forward, we don't have information from the county, and so we have more problems than we have answers. We have a better process than we had in prior years, but it's still not ideal. A few words about the budget. It is a balanced budget. It is not deficit spending. We do not print money in Greenhills, and so we believe in a balanced budget. Let me talk briefly about the revenue side and then the expense side. Revenue for the proposed 2014 budget is up slightly over the prior year due to receipts increasing in the municipal income tax. And it's hard to know why the municipal tax receipts are increasing. It could be because RETA has access to more databases and is getting more collection. It could be that the economy is improving, or it could be that people that were retired figured out 2 years into retirement, I think we didn't save enough and they're headed back to work and they're earning some income. But the income is up on the predominantly because of the revenue side, and tax receipts look pretty strong for 2013. In my estimation, we are going to exceed our budget estimate on the revenue side due to that. On the inheritance tax, that stopped on January 1st of this year. However, we have received some money from people that died in 2013 or years earlier. It's the most peculiar thing. We get a call from the county that says that they're putting X dollars into our account due to inheritance tax, and we never know who the decedent was or when they died. If they died and their will was not probated for a couple of years, they could have died several years earlier. We don't think that we're going to receive much, if any, money in 2014, so that is a zero. The local government fund currently shows zero, since the allocation, if any, is unknown at this time, and that's another number we're trying to get our arms around to get a better budget. So that's the revenue side. On the expense side, the overall expenses are up about 2%. The salary increases that we did last month are fully funded in 2014. We just had an audit this year, so we will not have that expense next year, so that number is zero. We have looked at the debt that we have from bonds on a long-term basis, and we continue to try to build those funds, as the year 2016 is our biggest expenditure, and I think we're in pretty good shape right now. We're also trying to build some funds in 2014 for the repaving of Lincoln Road, and that's a big number. From Ingram all the way down to the south to the village line, it's probably a little over $1 million to do that. So we will not be able to do that whole thing without a lot of grant money, etc. And a lot of those grants require matching funds, so if we don't accumulate some funds towards that, we won't be able to do that. And I think that's kind of the highlights of the budget. So if anybody has any questions about anything I said with the budget, I'd entertain those now. I think you guys have had some time to look at them.
Just one thing, I know we were having the storm sewer issues. I'm asking some funds for covering that. You know, the collapsing. I just didn't know.
Yes, we have 3 new.
The storm sewers have been collapsing in various places. I just wondered how we're ramping up with some of our funds to